we're gonna start, or we're ending at row 52. So this is where I'm at now, and we're gonna start at row 53. I just kind of did a little patch here, so it's not the full 52 rows, but row 52 does end on this side. So we're gonna chain one, turn our work, skip the first stitch, which is the chain we just created here. Hopefully you can, I don't think you see it, there it is here. Then we're gonna half double crochet, yarn over and go into the next stitch. And we're going to half double crochet in our first 8 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alrighty, and I like to pull up a little bit of yarn. So now that we did our 8 stitches, we're gonna skip 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I'm gonna skip 13 stitches. I'm gonna mark it just for the purpose of this video, honestly. And then we're gonna go into a half double crochet into the next stitch, into the rest of the row. So I have a note that says you want to pull the yarn. So you're going to skip by pulling the yarn to fill the skipped stitches here. So you can pull it. I like to pull up personally because it's not as much tension as when you're pulling here, or there's not as much pullback when you're doing that. So you can do it as long or as short as you would like. I personally like to have it at least line up to the stitch I'm going to be putting in next, but I have done it as well to where it's a little looser, but we'll do the first few to where they're right on top of the next stitch. So I also like to lay it on the table because when it's on the table, I'm able to better control and ensure that the working yarn isn't too loose or too short. Really, is more so my concern, is because if it's too short, then it'll start to like shrink and be like extra wonky. So we don't want that. Either way, so we're going to take the loose yarn over, insert it into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, boom. So, and then we're going to continue half double crochet in the rest of the row. My husband's doing a foot massager, so that's what that noise is in the background. It's loud too. All right, so here's another note to make. So you see here, you see 2, 4, 6, 7 stitches, right? At least that's what it looks like because we haven't chained our one. These 2 yarns, when you flip it over, so let me chain. Yeah, you flip it over. This is actually the first stitch. It just doesn't look like it. So instead of grabbing this bottom yarn, we're gonna grab these 2 on the next round. So that way we don't lose our stitches, because it's definitely easy to do that. That's something when I first made the pants, I didn't know what was going on until I realized, oh, there's not a stitch here. You gotta kind of make a stitch, I guess, realistically. But either way, so we're gonna chain 1. Sorry, y'all. Go back, pull. All right, so chain 1, turn your work. Now we're on row 54, which 53 through 58 is essentially the same thing that we're doing, just back and forth. And I made sure the stitches were even in terms of how many you gotta count. So whether you're left-handed or right-handed, it should work both ways. Alrighty, so we're gonna skip the chain we created, or that first stitch, and we're gonna go into the next stitch. And like I said, half double crochet in the first 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And here's the part I was talking about. Okay, so let's not do that. So So this is what I was talking about right here. These two. So you're gonna have to yarn over, grab these two, and you kind of gotta hold it because then it'll be loose and really weird. Like, you see how it's pulling. You're gonna pull through, if I can get it through. So I like to also pull up on this part too, because sometimes the stitch will be weird to me, and I don't like that. So either way, now we're gonna skip those same 13 stitches by pulling our yarn to our desired liking. So, and we're gonna go, so on this side, you're still gonna go inside that top stitch. So you don't have to add a stitch onto the cord on this side. Sorry, y'all. I need to make sure it's actually getting all on camera. Okay, so yarn over, insert, pull through. It's weird. All right, so in the last, from rows, what, not row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, the last 8 should be fine. 1. Okay, so now we're going to chain 1. This is row 55. I'm gonna skip the first stitch, go into the next stitch, count 8, half double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again, this top cord here, gotta make sure 8. So you need to pull it from this side, do that.
How do you say le license?
Alrighty, and then you're gonna see like this one here is loose, so I just slide it over so it's tighter. Now for this one, sometimes that happens too when they're too tight. I like to pull it, and this one we can make even looser if we want. Like I said, I just want to show the options on how you can do your crochet distress part. All right, so I wanted it way loose, then I do it like this. And this is where the table comes in handy, because then this bottom cord here, we can ensure that it stays the length, and then this part is only what's loose. Or you can also make this loose. It's your choice, but I'm just letting you know the different options. So, round, yarn over, put it in the next stitch, pull through. And like I said, on the following row, row 56, this will be the top of that next row. So 1. Alrighty, so now that we're at row 56 is where we're going, right? Because technically this is row 52 here, so 53, 54, 55. So now we're gonna do row 56, and I will meet you at the end of row 58. All right, so now that we are at the end of row 58, we're going to jump to row 59. And this is where we add in the loose chain stitches. So it's essentially a combination of loose yarn and loosely chained, or loose chains. So that's essentially what's happening here. So we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and you can kind of see how the loose looks, because this is the front side for me since I'm left-handed. But you can kind of see, right? Anyway, all right, so we are going to skip the first stitch and have double crochet in our first 8 stitches. Same concept, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 is going to be, again, these 2 cords here. Just gonna yarn over, bring it up, down, around, and back over, pull through. Now we're going to loosely chain 13 to fill the space. So this yarn is different from the yarn that I use for my actual pants, and I'm not actually liking this yarn at all for this. Keeps getting snatched. I don't like it. Either way. Okay, so chain 13 loosely. So we're gonna pull this a little more than I just had. I just had it loose. Right. And I also try to make sure that this part is centered. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 3, 4. If you have to pull, clearly that's too big. But if you have to pull a little just to make them a little bigger, that'd be cool. Or you'll be fine with that. So now I forgot what stitch. So I'm gonna back up for my own mental self so we can do 13 properly. And I also slide this over so it's not in the way. Alrighty. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Alrighty. So as you can see here, right, my camera is oddly placed on the tripod. So as you can see, it makes it to, and you can make it as loose or tight as you would like I mentioned, but this is how loose I try to make them so that way it doesn't warp the shaping of the panel. So next we're going to reach to this 22nd. So this is a 22nd stitch here. So we're gonna have double crochet in the 22nd stitch until the end of the row. So you're gonna yarn over, place it in the 22nd stitch, and then more half double crochets all the way through. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I always chain 1, I ain't gonna lie to you. So I'm gonna chain 1. I'm gonna do row 60, which 59 and 60 are together. So chain 1, turn your work, skip the first stitch or the chain that you just made, and then go into the next stitch, and we're gonna count 8. 1, 2, half double crochet, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that first chain here is where you're gonna, where the 8's gonna be. So it, or is that the first chain? I think that was still a part of it. Either way. Now we're gonna chain, loosely chain 13 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right. Again, I normally, and sometimes I need a stitch marker so that way I don't forget which one it is. So I like to count from the back. Yep. 2, 4, 6, 8. So this, so not this stitch here. It's the stitch that's connected here. So use a stitch marker, y'all. That's what I would do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's not do that. 7, 8. Okay, and then for row 61, we're going to repeat row 53, which is chain 1, turn your work, and we're gonna do the same method here, essentially, is what row 61 is. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm gonna show you again with the chains because to me it can be confusing. But let's do it again. So we're gonna chain one. Sorry, y'all. Turn your work. Skip the first stitch. Go in the next first 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my God, why does this keep happening? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm recording this video tutorial. Chain 1, turn your work. And we're going to repeat row 59, which is the chains. So skip the first stitch, go into the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again, you got your loose yarn here. That's what your 8 is. So you're essentially like creating one for real. 8. Alrighty. I'm gonna slide that over a little bit. You're gonna loosely chain. So yeah. Matter of fact, this little stitch marker is probably necessary here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right. I'm gonna go into this top stitch, yarn over. What is that? I don't like that. Say that again. And see, it could be that I actually should put a stitch on the first one here, because I think it's 2, 4, 6, yeah, 8. So this would be 8. So that's first chain would be 8. I hope you see. So we're gonna chain 1. And we're on row 63 now. So let's count, make sure, because I don't want to have nobody throwed, okay? So let's shake this baby out. It's crazy right now. But, so 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63. All right, so I already chained 1, turn my work. And then we're gonna half double crochet in 10 stitches. So now we're decreasing what the stitch is here, because we're starting to get closer and closer to the crotch area. So round over, yarn over, go into the first 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's take this out. Throw me off. All right, and then you got to go into the first 2 chains. 9, 10. Sometimes I like to count to be safe. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, and then oh, you're gonna skip 9 stitches by pulling the yarn to fill the space. So we're gonna fill this space, and say we're also gonna do the last half double crochet in the last 10 stitches. So it might be wise to count from 10 here, put the marker in, and then continue on. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So these extra 2 is 10. Let me see. Hopefully y'all can see it. That's 10. So I can take this one out like that. Let's pull it just a little here. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 10. Okay, so essentially that is how the crochet distressed area is created. I personally would suggest using stitch markers. That way you don't lose a stitch, because it'll definitely show at the end of the pattern. I thank y'all for your time today, and I really do hope this video helped. If you have any questions or concern, please do not hesitate to email me, message me, and ask, because I do want to ensure that the process is as smooth as possible. Until next time, y'all have a blissful rest of your day. Peace.